What's going on, YouTube? This is SG1 Sports, and you're watching our ACC football channel. I realize Notre Dame is not officially in the ACC in football, but you will see Notre Dame videos here on this channel as we try to get things ramped up and get these conference channels going. We've already got an SEC channel with almost 3,000 subscribers. We're getting the other Power 5 conference channels going here. But yeah, we're talking about Notre Dame's spring game. It's a game that we didn't learn a whole lot from, really, because there were, I forgot the number, but there's a lot of guys out due to injuries and just keeping guys out of the game. I thought Ian Book looked excellent in this game. Really looked comfortable, confident, like he did for the most part of last season. Until he got to that USC game and the playoff game, he was one of the more confident passers, efficient passers in the country, and I think people sometimes see the way he played those last couple of games, which he wasn't horrible, but it just wasn't quite at that same level. But you saw it today. He's going to be one of the top quarterbacks in the country, in my opinion. He completed 16 to 21 passes, 220 yards, just very, very solid. You wonder about Dexter Williams. Who are they going to replace him with at the running back position? Jafar Armstrong had a big day, 85 yards rushing and also 71 yards receiving. It seemed like they threw a lot of screens, threw the backs a lot in this game. Chase Claypool, I think, is going to be the go-to receiver. He had 4 catches for 92 yards. So offensively, this team's going to be pretty good. I don't see them being an Oklahoma or a Clemson offensively, but they're going to be very good. They're probably going to be a top 20 offense just with Ian Book back at quarterback. And I think they'll have some guys emerge in that run game as well. They've got weapons to throw to. Offensive line was pretty good. They did have some issues with sacks. They gave up I forgot how many they said, 16 sacks, I think, in this game. That wasn't good. Part of it was the backup quarterback there, Phil Jerkovich. He held the ball a little bit too long at times, but they were getting after it. I thought that was really the strength of this defense, that defensive line and that pass rush. Really looked good. So I think that'll be the strength of the defense again for Notre Dame. But offensively, they're going to be fine. I think they'll be able to compete with anyone on their schedule. I think they have got this program to where they are at that level. They are a team that will be in the conversation, at least preseason, for a playoff spot every year moving forward. They're not going to be a team that finishes 6-6. They're not going to have a great year and then a bad year like they have done a little bit here in the past. I think they've got the depth. They've got this team in the place that they need to have, where they can again compete pretty much every year. They're not going to get to the playoffs every year. They may not even finish in the top 10 every year, but they're at least going to be in that conversation. Again, you look at the schedule, and I think they can play with everyone on their schedule. There's no one on their schedule that they can't beat. Georgia on the road is going to be really tough. Michigan on the road is going to be really tough. I have a hard time seeing Notre Dame win those 2 games, especially on the road, but they're winnable games. It's possible that they win those games. Then they have USC at home and a road game against Stanford. Really, it's just those 4 games. They should be able to beat everyone else on their schedule. Virginia Tech could give them some problems, but this is a team that needs to go undefeated, I think, to get to the playoffs, especially with what they did last year. They got to the playoffs and didn't really compete very well with Clemson. And the fact that they have no conference championship, I think that really hurts them. When you're comparing 2 teams and they're pretty much even, they're battling for the 4th playoff spot. One team sits at home, the other team goes out and gets a quality win in a conference championship game. That could be the separation, and that's why I think it's going to be hard for Notre Dame to get into the playoffs at 11-1. So it's a tough task, but to beat Michigan and beat Georgia both on the road, it's possible, but it's going to be really tough. They do get a bye week before the Michigan game, and they get New Mexico before Georgia, and then a bye week before that. So they'll have really 2 weeks to prepare for Georgia, 1 week to 2 weeks, or 3 weeks to prepare for Georgia, 2 weeks to prepare for Michigan, and that could be the difference. Again, their schedule sets up pretty well with getting those breaks before those 2 big games. Again, I didn't have a whole lot to say about Notre Dame after this spring game. There weren't really any major takeaways for me. Maybe you saw something. You guys can let me know down in the comments below what you saw in this spring game. Did you see something you really liked? See something you really didn't like? Again, I was impressed with Ian Book. He looked very comfortable, and he looked like an elite quarterback. I forgot where we ranked him on our initial quarterback rankings. I believe he was in the top 10, but he's definitely a top 10 quarterback, and I think he's right there pushing for a top 5 spot when you talk about the quarterbacks this year. I think he's very underrated, and I think he's going to have a big year this season. You know, he's kind of known as being efficient, protecting the football, almost like a game manager, but he can run when he needs to. He can make the throws, and I think he has a chance to be a star here for Notre Dame, and I think they'll go about as far as he will take them. The defense, I think, is going to have to step up, and they'll have to play really well on that side of the ball to beat a team like Georgia or Michigan when you're not going to necessarily be able to go in there and score 35 points. So that's the key, I think. Ian Book, and then this defense just collectively. I think the defensive line is the strength. The rest of this defense is going to have to really step up if they're going to win some of those big games. So those are my thoughts on Notre Dame. I'd love to get yours again down in the comments below. What did you think? Thank you guys for watching this video. If you're a Notre Dame fan or an ACC fan, please subscribe to the channel. We're going to have all kinds of content on all of the ACC teams and also Notre Dame as well, coming all off season long. We're really just getting things started here with this channel, and we're working on some other contributors as well, some other guys, some other people that will be helping out here on this channel. Of course, with Mark Rogers TV, he's been producing some videos for us. Go check his channel out as well, Mark Rogers TV, if you have not already. But again, that will do it for this video. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more here on the SG1 Sports ACC Football Channel.